All right, here we are in our cold start video of our 97 Chevy Suburban 2500. It's got the big block 454. I'll go ahead and grab a hold of the exhaust manifold so you can see it's nice and cold. I got my little boy in here to fire it up. All right, Hank, you want to go ahead and give it a rip? You fire it up. There you go. Good job, bud. You can see it's running nice and quiet. No whining issues. Replaced the belt tensioner, the idler, and the serpentine belt that was a little windy before. So Hank also went in here and turned on all the map lights to show you those are working. So we got all those working, and we took out the third row seat so you can see how much cargo room we got here. All right, buddy, I'll come up and show them those ones. You know, it's probably about 35 degrees right now, so you get a little cold weather condensation, but there's no smoke or anything coming from the exhaust. And it's really important too that you take out the headrests of the middle row seats when you fold them down. Got those all working. So all right, buddy, go ahead and get ready to shut her down here in a minute. But all right, so good luck. It's going at no reserve, everybody. All right, here at No Reserve, we have up for auction our hard to find 1998 Chevy Suburban. It's hard to find because it's a 3/4 ton 4x4. It's got the 454 big block. It's a LT, so it's fully loaded. It's got leather, tan leather interior. Always in Washington State, so it's 100% rust free. The paint is really bright and shiny. Got nice reflection to it. The tires have a date code. They're 265s that fit the wheel wells up nice highway all-terrain. They're wrapped on some American racing wheels, but they have a date code of 2015, like it was 11/2015, so not too long ago they were replaced. It's only got a little over 154,000 original miles. It's got good mile checks through Carfax. It shows that it did have an accident in 2004, and I think this fender was replaced, and I think possibly the whole front clip was repainted. But I'll go over the body and everything like that. Hopefully we don't run out of some daylight, but there's lots of photos for you on there. If you need more, just let me know. The first thing I'm gonna do, there is a handful of clear coat lifting issues in some small spots, so I'm gonna do those first. So you go through here. There is a couple on the not on the entire top, but there's a couple located up here on just the front driver passenger cabin area, and there is pictures of those pointing out, but I'm not gonna hop up there. But on the very edge, it hasn't peeled, but it looks like it's a little light just on that edge. And this is kind of why I think this area's been repainted, but they're really hard to find, these clear coat spots, but they've pulled up right there. Walking around the truck, you wouldn't see it, but if you get in there, like you're waxing it, you'll notice it, you know, and that's a little spot right there. And that pretty much takes to the hood area. So I walk real close around here. You know, on top of the fender flares, on the very edge, there's a couple of little spots. It is starting to get a little bit dark out here, so sorry about that. Looks like the rest of the driver's side is really good. Take it on the tailgate, there's no issues. There's some chips and little scratches I'll take you over, but there's a little bit of clear coat to lift off of this fender flare. And then the clear coat's a little bit checked. You could just take these fender flares off and get it painted. But looks to be pretty much about it for the clear coat issues. So probably with the top and the hood spots, there's probably a little more than a half a dozen. And then you also have this edge here. So I'll take you around to the usual wear and tear. The headlights are nice and clear. You know, Chevrolet units, the GM product, they're nice, got a nice shine to them. You can see the GM number here, no aftermarket. Paint's still nice condition on the valance. It isn't all cracked. A lot of times people won't know how to pull these grills out to do the lights. GM part number. It looks like maybe this one was replaced, TYC. So, but this is a pretty sweet little detail piece. They painted the bow tie the same color as the truck. You know, obviously these people love the way it looked. They dressed up with the nice wheels, the little larger tires, the fender flares. It's got the painted door handles to match the bow tie. So obviously this was a truck that was loved. I wish I could tell you more. You know, the hood's just bent in a little bit on this ear here, but you can see the gaps look pretty good, look nice and even. But I'll dig a little bit more and see if maybe the hood's been replaced. The metal on the hood does seem a a little bit thinner, and you can see some little, on the top of the hood, some little, maybe it looks like a little bit of hail damage. There's no paint damage to it, besides your little chips and stuff like that. But it does have some little kind of like dimples in it. It's really hard to see though, but I'll let you know that they are there. You know, your mirrors have some little bit of, you know, wear to them. There's little chips around here, thin little scratch. Chip right there on the fender flare, little chip on the door right there. But you have your normal kind of chips, stone chips on the bottom. I'll walk real slow. You know, it's a dark green, so you know, you have your door edge chipping, entry edge. The door handle does have a crack right here. You can get a set of 5 for $40 to the door, the black, but I do just love the color match. I think it looks a nice little detail. You know, they got rid of all the body side moldings. So this whole truck may have been repainted because it matches perfectly. And it's got a really nice deep shine. It has more of a, I'd say it has a better looking clear coat than what I would imagine original was. It's really clear and crisp. You can see my reflection. You know, I'm quite a few feet away. You know, it's not foggy, no orange peel, but you can see the building in the background perfectly in the paint. There's a couple of stone chips in the front window, but that's pretty much about it. You know, these are plastic, the fender flares, so they do have some little kind of chips right there. Aftermarket American racing wheels are chrome, but you got a little, you know, you get a little wear in the pockets there. Tail lights have just a little bit of fading at the top, but they're nice and clear, no cracks. Really nice rear barn doors, and you can see that shine. You know, the painted door handle again, nice and tight. Little ding and a little bit of paint damage there. Very faint scratch right here. Rear bumper's got really nice chrome to it. A lot of times these are all wore out and beat up. So this really looks like a truck that was taken care of really well by its owners. It had 3 owners in Washington. You know, a couple little scuffs on the bumper pad, kind of expected stuff. Here's the worst of it. There's a little crease in the body, kind of starts out with a little scratch and ding here, gets a little bit of a crease, flattens out like they missed it and then pulled back into it or something. Put a little bit of scratches on the tail light. I think you could get that off. Again, you know, probably the same incident, scuffed the fender flare a little bit, put a couple little stress cracks in there, but there's no actual damage or cracks to the fender flare. You can scuff it and paint it. But this is what I'm talking about. This paint is very smooth. It's really, really shiny. Oh, look at that little ding right there. Kind of a weird one. Little chip right there. Small little scratch right there. Tiny little chip. And then there is a little scratch. It does indent the body a very little amount. I mean, you got to be at the right angle, but you see it there. It's kind of a corkscrew. A little bit there. Again, a little bit of chip there. You can see along the bottom. Of course, your typical stone chips. You know, if this thing would have had mud flaps or big running boards on it, it would have been a little bit more protected. Again, the same kind of stress cracks and clear coat issues on this one. And then there's a little scratch here, scratch on the top of the fender, a couple little, almost looks like cat or animal marks. I believe this is the original window because it's got a little bit of the type of delaminating you see on the side. Stone chip right in the middle, just the bottom right of the rear view mirror, along with a couple here. And then there's the VIN, of course, nice and clean in there. Wipers are good, all that stuff's dialed in. Oh, little chip right here. I'm sure you probably saw it when I was showing you the clear coat, but you know, door hinges are nice shape. You can pull up and down on them, there's no play. Inside, to me, I think it's in beautiful condition. Of course, you know, we got rubber mats all the way around, motor trim for all 3 seats. You know, this thing's got 3rd row, so you can, including the driver, you know, you got 8 people that can ride in this bad boy, or you got 5, and you take out that rear seat. You know, you do have some aging. No holes in this leather, but it is aging and cracked a little bit, kind of your 90s leather stuff. Still, you know, still soft and supple. It's not all flat and beat up. But you can get 2 of these covers, or you can get just one. They're about 80 bucks on eBay. You can get a bundle for 2 of them usually. Armrest, same thing. Nice little bit of wear, but it's nice shape. It's not broken. You know, all this stuff folds out. You got your CD holder. You got your the cup holders in the rear. I got all the photos of that stuff. The rear heat and AC work good. A lot of times that'll go bad and just blow out cool air. So lighting's starting to go away here a little bit on me, but there is a little bit of marks in the felt here, but no plastic cracks or anything like that. This here is sitting on my desk. I told myself about 4 times to pop it back in there, but I took it out just to clean around there. Just a little bit of door entry, the seatbelt hitting there, again the VIN, and this is not a part number. The other ones are more clear. It's anti-theft, basically like a theft deterrent, and all of them have it except for the driver's fender, and that's what makes me think it was replaced, along with the hood doesn't have it. A really nice condition in here. It's got nice rubber mats, but you'll see in the pictures and stuff, there is some staining in the carpet underneath that. It's kind of hard to do for this age, 22-year-old tan interior. If this isn't your thing, these do come right off. You can either peel them or make it easier on yourself and get a little heat gun, and these pull right off. But for some reason, I might be getting old, but I kind of like it on this tan interior in this green truck. It's kind of weird, but easy fix if you don't like it. But the driver's side rear door panel is perfect. The back of the seats is nice. So I'll go ahead and take you around here. Pop open those barn doors. Just a little bit of scuffing on the top panel, a little bit of dark spot on the carpet. Somehow this cover got a little bit worn, but I popped this open to take a picture. Now I'm having a hard time getting it down, so I'm going to adjust it and hold on to it and zip this all the way down. And it's got the rear rubber mat for protection. A couple little scuffs here and there, but no. Hopefully you guys can see there's no sag on any of the headliner, no holes, no issues. This is a non-smoker. And all these seats do fold down, but it's very important. You have to take the headrest out, and then it folds completely flat. So, I mean, you can sleep in here. It's just super killer. Again, the rear cargo area does have some staining in the carpet. To me, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. We have a Tahoe, and it's kind of the same issue. You just throw down the mats, and I don't know it's there. But I got little kids, and I've replaced the carpet in my Bronco, and it doesn't look very good now. But so I'll take you around here. Passenger rear inside. Again, the leather. I mean, the middle seat and rear seats are just mint. They look like they've never been really used. This is but you can pull the axis here. Let's see, it's going to be a tough one-man operation. But you can see the rear seat's in nice condition. It slides back, and then I will get pictures and everything of it all folded down and kind of go over the process on how you do that. Since I'm running out of daylight, I'll kind of skim through here and get all the good stuff. So the rear door panel, driver's side, is looking really nice. Mid condition, couple tiny little marks, but no big deal. Again, the headliner's in nice condition. Rear AC heat controls. Again, no door sag. Passenger side front door panels is perfect. You got a little bit, not as much wear as the driver's side. The back, you wouldn't want to replace this, but no holes or anything like that. Then you got your cup holder that pops out. Ashtray's never been used. You got all your ports and everything like that for all your chargers. We got the original owner's manuals. And in the file inside, which I'll show in the pictures, it's got the original brochure. It's got 2 keyless entry key fobs. It's all right. All right, I'm going to go ahead. But here's the decal I was talking about. It's on most of the panels. So maybe it's just on the front doors. But front doors and the passenger fender, I'm not sure if they're on the rear barn doors or not. Let's take a little look. Yeah, so that one's got one. That one doesn't. So maybe they just chose one rear door and then one door on each side to do it, but I believe they would have chose to do both. Yeah, both rear doors don't have it, so that must have been part of their deal. So all right, I'm gonna warm it up and throw the GoPro on if there's enough daylighting, and go ahead and go do a drive. See the power windows. All that stuff. It's working good. You know, all your powered seat, all that stuff's working good. Take you around here to the other side. This thing's pretty cool. You got to give it a little bit of a pull, but it's like you know, if you use it more, probably rarely been used, so the hinge is a little stiff. Cup holders, stuff like that. You know, I think I showed in the other video. This seat pops forward, and then you got good access. You got your rear heat controls, AC controls. Trying to think anything else to show you. You know, never been smoked in. Cup holders all pull out nice and smooth. Got your CD holder in there. But it's running really nice and smooth, nice and quiet. Alright, so it's got a nice sound stereo. See if we can find. So it sounds really good. It's got the CD, the tape, you know, the map lights working on all corners. You got your rear heat. Hopefully you can hear that kicking on. The fan on all different speeds, and like I said before, it can be operated. Both mirrors have the slide out piece, and then you can see that. Go ahead and put it in gear. Doesn't want to move because the e-brake's on. Pop the e-brake. It rolls really good. But it's got nice gauges, nice and clear. All the bulbs are working, all lighting up good. It's got 154 to about 15 on it. It's got the push button 4-wheel drive system. It's a 4-low now. So it shifts really quick. It's in 4 high now, and you can feel it really grab. I mean, there's, you know, it's a little wet out, but you can feel it click in. You feel it hop around really good. Let's see if I could take you over here, try and do a couple sharp corners. You can see kind of, you can hear it chirping a little bit. But it sounds nice and smooth, a 4-wheel drive. I'll go ahead and stop. You can see it kind of hopping. We'll kind of put it in too high, and you can, you know, it'll eventually go out. You'll feel it click out, but I like to just go into reverse, get it out a little bit. Turn on the upper controls up here. You can hear it work at all different speeds. AC lights up correctly, all that stuff. You know, your rear defogger, circulating. You know, all the buttons work. It's just a killer truck. I'm gonna turn that off. The heaters, it'll cook you out, especially if you turn on that rear heat too. I mean, it's a barn burner. So stuff we had done on this is basically just kind of your typical maintenance. You know, had it aligned, tires balanced and rotated, had the brakes checked, front end checked, training fluid changed, oil change, all the fluids changed, had the serpentine belt tensioner, the idler, wipers, like oil change I mentioned, a couple of little dome light switches. Other than that, it's been, you know, replaced a couple of light bulbs, just small ones. But other than that, it was pretty much dialed in and ready to go. You can tell it's got no exhaust leaks. It's really, really quiet. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Looks like the weather's going to kick up a little bit on us. You can see these potholes. It just soaks them up nice. I love the GM trucks. They ride just awesome, especially the 3/4 ton 1-tons compared to the Dodges and the Fords. I mean, I love them all, but the GM definitely has the ride to them. So we'll go ahead and pull it here. I am going to do a cold starting video. Obviously, gonna wait till tomorrow on that. And we'll do that thing first thing in the morning, let it sit out overnight, and then Usually my boy is he helps me out with that stuff. He always likes to fire it up, and he'll probably run through and turn the lights on and everything like that again for you. We'll also fold down the seats for you so you can see what that looks like, and there's also going to be photos for that. So you get on the highway here. Hopefully traffic allows us to get up to a decent speed. You know, I'm just going to get out here, just kind of getting it decent, little third throttle. And then I'm going to exit off onto a road that's got some windy turns, and it's got some potholes and some patches and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the cruise control. I got my foot off right now, and as soon as we get a break of traffic, I'll show you down there, but we're cruising nice. You can see we're dead on about 67. My foot's not on the gas. I'll go ahead and turn it off, and you'll see, go ahead and just start deaccelerating a little bit. And there it goes. So I'll go ahead and give it some gas. But yeah, so it's got AC Delco plugs and wires. Rust-free truck, always in Washington State. I think between all the videos and the photos, we'll get everything on this. But you guys definitely let me know if you're missing something. It's got really nice paint shine and reflection to it. You know, it's got a couple of those isolated clear coat issues, but I mean, you know, they're not on the side of the truck, which is killer, because I mean, the roof you don't even see. You got to get up there and wash it. So, you know, in my opinion, you know, a truck that's of this age and looks this great, it's out of sight, out of mind. Those ones on the hood, they're tough to see. They're right in the ridge line. And it's kind of the same thing, but you know, worst case scenario, you could just have the hood blasted, and you know, if you were gonna do that, I would have the fender flares reshot too. Just because the passenger side's got some issues on those. But overall, it looks great. You can see we got good oil pressure, good temperature. So all that stuff's looking good. So you can see, go ahead and click on the wipers. There's some patches and some potholes here. Here you go. You know, I'm doing 30 miles an hour. You know, I'm not, you know, don't want to abuse the thing, but you can hear there's no rattles and shakes. That's what I love about trucks that just never been touched. You know, personally, when I have a vehicle, I do like a nice stereo, but when I buy stuff, even personally or to resell, I see the original stereo, and I love it because I know this truck hasn't been taken apart a bunch of times, hasn't had you know, wires ran underneath the carpets all the way, the door panels off a bunch of times, breaking clips and rattles and dash rattles. You know, people will break these and they're rattling. This truck just doesn't have that. I mean, you hit a bump, there's 100% no rattles. I mean, this thing is like an absolute vault. You don't have any wind noise coming in from the windows. You don't have any wind noise coming in from the doors, like somebody pried open the doors to get in, like they locked the keys inside. It does have 2 key fobs, like I mentioned before, keyless entry key fobs. Both are working. It's got its original owner's manuals. It's got its original dealer brochure. So it's just a really cool truck, and the 3/4 tons. But this body style, they're just getting there where they're hard to find, especially with 154,000 miles. But being a big block 3/4 ton, 4x4, you can just see the nice tight corners. I don't know if you can see it through that one, but you know, as soon as I straighten out, it wants to rebound. The steering wheel wants to straighten out just like it should. You go to a tight one here, gives you good resistance. You know, it's about where the steering wheel should be. You know, if the steering wheel was way over, you know, it's worn out. But there's no ball joints, no tie rod issues. Nothing like that, but it's just, the steering wheel's nice. It just arrows straight. Just a killer truck. The tires are nice and smooth and quiet. You know, you get on the brakes. The brake life looks like they were just done last year. You get on the brakes and it's just nice, smooth, no pulsating, no noises, no shaking. So I'm trying to think. I think I got it all in here, guys. All your chargers work. You know, your outlets down here. You got 3 of them if you want to hook up your cell phone and your iPod or whatever. All that stuff works. There's nothing on this truck that doesn't work. The only thing is the when you're using the power window switch on the passenger side, there's no issues. But the driver's side one is a little wore out, so sometimes you have to push it a little hard. Like, it works fine there. But if you barely touch it, kind of like this, it doesn't go down. So you got to push it all the way down, and it'll work. So, all right, and this is going no reserve, you guys. So good luck. Over 97 Chevy Suburban 4x4, 3/4 ton. It's got the 454. I'm not sure in the other video if you heard me mention it did have a little bit of whine. I thought it was the power steering pump, but after I did my exterior photos and ran out of daylight for the driving videos, we had it checked out, and it was just the belt tensioner, or actually it's the idler, but we hadn't replaced the serpentine belt, tensioner, and the idler, all from Gates parts, and you'll get the old parts on that too. You know, one thing I didn't mention before is, you know, we got the underhood light working and everything. All the lights are working in this thing. It's nice to see the previous owner did a heavy duty battery that's got 800 cold cranking amps rather than going cheap on a, you know, 500-600 cold cranking amps. So this 454's got all the power it can need. You know, all the dome lights come on. We replaced the actuators up front. Those just kind of go bad. Over time, you can see all the gauges working good. I'll walk around here. You can see lights come on and they go off. So all these actuators work good. Here's the old Gates. You know, I usually like to give this stuff to the new owner. They could toss them. You know, those are the plugs we use. The AC Delcos, AC Delco wires. You can see the license plate lights on. You know, all that stuff. Burning nice and clean, and you know, it's like probably about mid-30s right now, so you're gonna get a little cold weather condensation. You know, all doors shut nice and even, nice body lines. In these GM trucks with this body line here and this body line here, they'll let you know right away if you got a door sagging. But you know, it's got keyless entry. The key fob works. See the power windows. All that stuff. It's working good. You know, all your powered seat, all that stuff's working good. Take you around here to the other side. This thing's pretty cool. You got to give it a little bit of a pull, but it's like you know, if you use it more, probably rarely been used, so the hinge is a little stiff. Cup holders, stuff like that. You know, I think I showed in the other video. This seat pops forward, and then you got good access. You got your rear heat controls, AC controls. Trying to think anything else to show you. You know, never been smoked in. Cup holders all pull out nice and smooth. Got your CD holder in there. But it's running really nice and smooth, nice and quiet. Alright, so it's got a nice sound stereo. See if we can find it. So it sounds really good. It's got the CD, the tape, you know, the map lights working on all corners. You got your rear heat. Hopefully you can hear that kicking on. The fan on all different speeds, and like I said before, it can be operated. Both mirrors have the slide out piece, and then you can see that. Go ahead and put it in gear. Doesn't want to move because the e-brake's on. Pop the e-brake, and it rolls really good. But it's got nice gauges, nice and clear. All the bulbs are working, all lighting up good. It's got 154 to about 15 on it. It's got the push button 4-wheel drive system. It's a 4-low now. So it shifts really quick. It's in 4-high now, and you can feel it really grab. I mean, there's, you know, it's a little wet out, but you can feel it click in. You feel it hop around really good. Let's see if I can take you over here. Try to do a couple sharp corners. You can see you can hear it chirping a little bit. sounds nice and smooth in four-wheel drive. We'll go ahead and stop. You can see it kind of hopping. We'll kind of put it in too high, and you can, you know, it'll eventually go out. You'll feel it click out, but I like to just go into reverse, get it out a little bit. Turn on the upper controls up here. You can hear it work at all different speeds. AC lights up correctly, all that stuff. You know, your rear defogger, circulating. You know, all the buttons work. It's just a killer truck. When we turn that off, the heaters, it'll cook you out, especially if you turn on that rear heat too. I mean, it's a barn burner. So stuff we had done on this is basically just kind of your typical maintenance. You know, had it aligned, tires balanced and rotated, had the brakes checked, front end checked, training fluid changed, oil change, all the fluids changed, had the serpentine belt tensioner, the idler, wipers, like oil change I mentioned, a couple of little dome light switches. Other than that, it's been, you know, replaced a couple of light bulbs, just small ones. But other than that, it was pretty much dialed in and ready to go. You can tell it's got no exhaust leaks. It's really quiet. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Looks like the weather's going to kick up a little bit on us. You can see these potholes. It just soaks them up nice. I love the GM trucks. They ride just awesome, especially the 3/4 ton 1-tons compared to the Dodges and the Fords. I mean, I love them all, but the GM definitely has the ride to them. So we'll go ahead and pull it here. I am going to do a cold starting video. Obviously, gonna wait till tomorrow on that. We'll do that thing first thing in the morning, let it sit out overnight, and then usually my boy he helps me out with that stuff. He always likes to fire it up, and he'll probably run through and turn the lights on and everything like that again for you. We'll also fold down the seats for you so you can see what that looks like, and there's also going to be photos for that. So, you get on the highway here. Hopefully traffic allows us to get up to a decent speed. You know, I'm just going to get out here, just kind of getting a decent little third throttle. And then I'm going to exit off onto a road that's got some windy turns. And it's got some potholes and some patches and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the cruise control. I got my foot off right now, and as soon as we get a break of traffic, I'll show you down there, but we're cruising nice. You can see we're dead on about 67. My foot's not on the gas. I'll go ahead and turn it off, and you'll see, go ahead and just start deaccelerating a little bit. And there it goes. So I'll go ahead and give it some gas. But yeah, so it's got AC Delco plugs and wires. Rust-free truck, always in Washington State. I think between all the videos and the photos, we'll get everything on this. But you guys definitely let me know if you're missing something. It's got really nice paint shine and reflection to it. You know, it's got a couple of those isolated clear coat issues, but I mean, you know, they're not on the side of the truck, which is killer, because I mean, the roof you don't even see. You got to get up there and wash it. So, you know, in my opinion, you know, a truck that's of this age and looks this great, it's out of sight, out of mind. Those ones on the hood, they're tough to see. They're right in the ridge line. And it's kind of the same thing, but you know, worst case scenario, you could just have the hood blasted, and you know, if you were gonna do that, I would have the fender flares reshot too, just because the passenger side's got some issues on those. But overall, it looks great. You can see we got good oil pressure, good temperature. So all that stuff's looking good. So you can see, go ahead and click on the wipers. There's some patches and some potholes here. Here you go. You know, I'm doing 30 miles an hour, you know, I'm not, you know, don't want to abuse the thing, but you can hear there's no rattles and shakes. That's what I love about trucks that just never been touched, you know. Personally, when I have a vehicle, I do like a nice stereo, but when I buy stuff, even personally, or to resell, I see the original stereo, and I love it because I know this truck hasn't been taken apart a bunch of times. Hasn't had, you know, wires ran underneath the carpets all the way, the door panels off a bunch of times, breaking clips and rattles and dash rattles. You know, people will break these and they're rattling. This truck just doesn't have that. I mean, you hit a bump, there's 100% no rattles. I mean, this thing is like an absolute vault. You don't have any wind noise coming in from the windows. You don't have any wind noise coming in from the doors, like somebody pried open the doors to get in, like they locked the keys inside. It does have 2 key fobs, like I mentioned before, keyless entry key fobs. Both are working. It's got its original owner's manuals. It's got its original dealer brochure. So it's just a really cool truck, and the 3/4 tons. But this body style, they're just getting there where they're hard to find, especially with 154,000 miles. But being a big block 3/4 ton, 4x4, you can just see the nice tight corners. I don't know if you can see it through that one, but you know, as soon as I straighten out, it wants to rebound. The steering wheel wants to straighten out just like it should. You go in a tight one here, gives you good resistance. You know, it's about where the steering wheel should be. You know, if the steering wheel was way over, you know, it's worn out. But there's no ball joints, no tie rod issues, nothing like that. But it's just, the steering wheel's nice. It just arrows straight. Just a killer truck. The tires are nice and smooth and quiet. You know, you get on the brakes. The brake life looks like they were just done last year. You get on the brakes and it's just nice, smooth, no pulsating, no noises, no shaking. So I'm trying to think. I think I got it all in here, guys. All your chargers work. You know, your outlets down here. You got 3 of them if you want to hook up your cell phone and your iPod or whatever. All that stuff works. There's nothing on this truck that doesn't work. The only thing is the when you're using the power window switch on the passenger side, there's no issues. But the driver's side one is a little wore out, so sometimes you have to push it a little hard. Like, it works fine there. But if you barely touch it, kind of like this, it doesn't go down. So you got to push it all the way down, and it'll work. So, all right, and this is going no reserve, you guys. So good luck.